Hello, seniors. I am Dr. Robert Harrison. Stop. Before you flush that toilet one more time, you need to see this. What I'm about to show you could be the difference between catching cancer early when it's still treatable or discovering it too late when there's nothing we can do. I'm Dr. Robert Harrison, and in my decades practicing medicine, I've lost count of how many patients have sat across from me with advanced cancer, saying the same heartbreaking words. Doctor, I noticed something strange months ago, but I thought it was nothing. I wish I had come in sooner. Right now, your body might be screaming a warning at you, and you're flushing the evidence away every single day without even looking. What comes out of your body is literally showing you what's happening inside months, sometimes years before you'll feel sick, before the pain starts, before any blood test will detect it. And here's what terrifies me most. The deadliest type of stool, the one that signals advanced cancer, doesn't always look obviously wrong. Sometimes it's subtle. Sometimes people see it and think, that's a little odd, and then forget about it. But here's the truth that gives me hope. If you know what to look for, you have power. You can catch these deadly warning signs early when treatment is simple and survival rates are over 90%. Your toilet bowl is literally giving you a free cancer screening every single day, but only if you know how to read the signs. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to see, and more importantly, what you must never ignore. Something as straightforward as color already tells us volumes about your bile ducts, liver function, pancreas health, or whether there's internal bleeding you cannot see or feel. The shape, consistency, and type of stool reveal critical information from parasitic infections to inflammatory conditions to cancer. And at the end, I'll give you 3 simple strategies to protect your gut health. Starting today, to help you understand this clearly, we physicians use the Bristol Stool Scale. It describes how stool appears, ranging from very hard pellets to completely liquid, numbered 1 through 7. I strongly encourage you to print this out and post it in your bathroom. There's no shame in this. It's a medical tool that empowers you to monitor your own health. If your stool looks like type 1, very hard, separate little pellets like rabbit droppings, difficult to pass, that's constipation. Your intestine has been holding on to fecal matter too long, and it's drying out inside your colon. This causes pain during bowel movements, hemorrhoids, anal fissures, and significantly increases inflammation throughout your entire body. At the opposite extreme is type 7, completely liquid diarrhea, meaning your intestine is moving too rapidly and isn't absorbing nutrients properly. Here's what I want you to remember. Ideally, your stool should come out formed, but soft pastel-like consistency, neither rock-hard nor liquid, and brown in color. When food passes from your stomach into your intestine, it mixes with bile that starts out greenish. During digestion, that bile transforms, giving your stool its characteristic brown color. So that familiar brown actually signals normal digestion. Now here's what I rarely see other doctors explain properly. It's not enough for form and color to be normal. Frequency matters just as much. Ideally, you should have a complete bowel movement every single day, preferably around the same time. Some people naturally go every other day. And if that's been your lifelong pattern and you feel completely empty afterward, that can be normal for you. However, when more than 2 or 3 days pass without a bowel movement, or when you notice sudden, unexplained changes in your usual pattern, that's a red flag demanding attention. Changes in bowel frequency aren't random. They can signal intestinal blockages, hormonal imbalances like thyroid dysfunction or menopause effects, chronic stress, certain medications, insufficient fiber or water, or even problems with your liver or pancreas. Form, color, and frequency. These are your 3 essential keys. Now let's look at specific danger signs. Healthy stool should exit with normal thickness, roughly the diameter of a banana. If your stool is coming out thin, narrow, or pencil-like regularly, that can warn that something is partially obstructing or narrowing the passageway in your intestine. This doesn't automatically mean cancer. It could be low fiber, diverticula, or an anal fissure causing you to unconsciously tighten, but it can also indicate a growing tumor. If you notice repeatedly thin, pencil-like stools, especially if this is a change from normal, see a doctor promptly. When you go to the bathroom, you should feel complete emptying, that distinct sensation of relief in your lower abdomen. Many people, especially as they age, sit for extended periods because they never feel finished. We call this evacuatory dysfunction, particularly common in women after menopause. Another concerning symptom is constant sensation of needing to go throughout the day even after you've been. This is called tenesmus, and it means your intestine hasn't emptied properly or is experiencing inflammation. For constipation relief, here's my specific recommendation. Upon waking, drink a full large glass of water before anything else. This activates your intestinal system. Throughout the day, drink another glass every 1 to 2 hours, stopping about 2 hours before bedtime. Increase fiber gradually. Add 1 or 2 tablespoons of chia or ground flax seeds to yogurt or oatmeal. Incorporate fruits with natural laxative properties, prunes, papaya with seeds, kiwi, apples with skin. I often recommend preparing green juice with celery, apple, and fresh ginger. Drink 1 to 2 glasses daily. If diarrhea persists for more than 4 weeks, that's chronic diarrhea requiring thorough investigation. We need to rule out colitis, inflammatory bowel diseases, chronic parasitic infections, polyps, or other significant problems. Persistent diarrhea causes dehydration and malnutrition and always has an underlying cause needing treatment. Now, regarding stool color variations, if your stool appears green, this usually isn't alarming. Either your intestine is moving food through quickly, so bile doesn't have time to transform from green to brown, or you've eaten lots of dark leafy greens like spinach or broccoli. However, if your stool appears yellowish or pale, clay-like, whitish, and this persists for more than 2 or 3 days, it can signal poor fat digestion, parasitic infection, or problems with your pancreas, liver, or bile ducts. Regarding floating versus sinking, for years, people believed floating stools indicated serious disease. Modern medical understanding tells us that floating versus sinking by itself isn't significant. Stools float simply because they contain more gas. What really matters are form, consistency, frequency, and any significant changes from what's normal for your body. Now we've arrived at the most critical part. What is the single most dangerous type of stool? The worst-case scenario representing a true medical emergency is when your stool appears very dark, black, with the appearance of tar or coal. This is called melena, and I cannot stress enough how serious this is. This typically indicates significant bleeding in the upper part of your digestive tract, your stomach or small intestine. The blood has been partially digested as it travels through, giving it that characteristic black tarry appearance. What causes this? A bleeding ulcer in your stomach, bleeding from intestinal diverticula, small blood vessels, bleeding inside your intestine, or in certain cases, hidden cancer bleeding internally. The black tarry appearance tells us the bleeding is substantial. If you ever notice black tarry stools, do not wait. Do not tell yourself you'll call your doctor tomorrow. Go directly to an emergency room or call your doctor immediately if it's during office hours. I've seen patients who delayed seeking care for black stools, and by the time they came in, they required transfusions and emergency surgery. Don't let that be you. There's another color warning: bright red blood. If you notice bright red blood on toilet paper, on the surface of your stool, or mixed throughout, this also demands attention. Bright red blood typically means bleeding from your lower intestine, colon, or rectum. Sometimes this is relatively minor, like hemorrhoids or a small anal fissure. However, bright red blood can also indicate polyps growing in your colon. Polyps start out benign, but some types can transform into cancer over time. Bright red blood can also be a direct sign of colon cancer that's already present. Blood in your stool, regardless of color, should never be dismissed as probably just hemorrhoids. Get it checked properly with a thorough examination and likely a colonoscopy. Now, let me give you 3 powerful strategies to protect your intestinal health starting today. These are straightforward habits that, if you commit to them, will dramatically improve your digestion, energy, and overall well-being. Strategy number 1, move your body every single day. If you spend most of your day sitting or lying down, your intestinal system becomes sluggish. Your colon needs movement to function optimally. Simply walking 20 to 30 minutes daily, doing gentle stretching, or staying reasonably active as you do household tasks makes an enormous difference. Physical activity stimulates the natural contractions of your intestinal muscles that push waste through. Make movement non-negotiable every day. Strategy number 2, have at least one colonoscopy after you reach age 50, even if you feel completely healthy. Current recommendations now suggest screening at age 45 and if you have family history of colon cancer even earlier. Colorectal cancer is one of the most common and deadly cancers, and it typically grows slowly and silently. You can have a tumor developing for years without symptoms until the cancer is quite advanced. Here's the empowering part. Colorectal cancer is one of the most preventable cancers. Nearly all colon cancers start as small, benign growths called polyps. A colonoscopy allows me to find and remove these polyps before they ever become cancer. It's literally cancer prevention, not just detection. If your colonoscopy is completely normal, you'll repeat it in 10 years. Yes, the prep is unpleasant. You'll clean out your colon the day before with strong laxative solution, but that one day of discomfort could literally save your life. Strategy number 3, and this is the most powerful. Protect and nurture your intestinal microbiota every single day. Your gut microbiota is like an ecosystem of trillions of microorganisms, bacteria, viruses, fungi living inside your intestinal tract. When you take care of this ecosystem, it functions like a highly trained army of protectors working on your behalf 24/7. Let me tell you what these microorganisms do. They help break down and digest food, particularly fibers your own digestive enzymes can't handle. They manufacture essential vitamins, including B vitamins and vitamin K. They strengthen and regulate your immune system. About 70% of your immune system resides in your gut. They influence your mood and mental health by producing neurotransmitters like serotonin. They affect your weight, metabolism, inflammation throughout your body, energy levels, even memory and cognitive function. When your microbiota is healthy and balanced, you feel good, you have energy, your digestion works smoothly, your immune system protects you effectively. But when your microbiota becomes disrupted, dysbiosis, your entire body suffers. You may experience digestive problems, increased susceptibility to infections, worsening chronic inflammatory diseases, mood disorders, weight gain, brain fog, and fatigue. How do you protect this ecosystem? First, avoid things that damage it. The biggest culprit is inappropriate antibiotic use. Antibiotics are life-saving when truly needed for bacterial infections, but they're massively overprescribed, especially for viral infections they can't help. Every time you take antibiotics, you're killing good gut bacteria along with bad bacteria. It takes weeks to months for your gut to recover, and sometimes it never fully returns to its previous state. Only take antibiotics when truly necessary for bacterial infections, not for every cold or minor illness. Now, actively support your gut microbiota by consuming probiotics and prebiotics regularly. Probiotics are live beneficial bacteria you ingest. The best food sources are fermented foods. Plain unsweetened yogurt with live active cultures. Check the label. Kefir, a fermented milk drink with even more diverse bacteria than yogurt. Fermented vegetables like sauerkraut, kimchi, and traditional pickles. Kombucha, a fermented tea drink. Include at least one serving of fermented foods daily. Prebiotics are equally important. They're the food that feeds your good gut bacteria, types of fiber you can't digest, but your gut bacteria can. When they consume these fibers, they multiply and thrive. Where do you find prebiotics? In simple everyday foods, less ripe bananas, particularly slightly green ones, apples, whole oats, brown rice, onions, garlic, leeks, asparagus, seeds of all kinds, fruits eaten with their skins, and a wide variety of vegetables all contribute prebiotic fiber. The beautiful thing is you're not relying on expensive supplements. You're simply eating real whole foods that humans have eaten for thousands of years, and in doing so, feeding beneficial bacteria that keep you healthy. This is true preventive medicine, and you have complete control over it starting with your very next meal. Let me bring this together for you. Taking care of your digestive health and understanding warning signs isn't just about your intestines. It's about protecting your overall health, quality of life, and potentially your survival. Your digestive system is connected to every other system in your body. When it functions well, you feel well. I want you to feel empowered, not frightened. Knowledge is power. And now you have the knowledge to monitor your own health effectively. Recognize warning signs early and take action before small problems become big ones. Start paying attention today. Every time you use the bathroom, take just a moment to observe. Make it a habit. Your health is your most valuable asset, and you have more control over it than you think. Small, consistent actions compound over time into dramatic results. Don't wait until you have a serious problem to start caring about your digestive health. Start now, today, with your very next meal and your very next trip to the bathroom. I'm Dr. Robert Harrison, and I'm here to give you the information and tools you need to take charge of your health and live your longest, healthiest, most vibrant life possible. If this video has been helpful, please share it with your friends and family members, especially those over 50 who need to hear this information. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll continue this journey toward optimal health.